In this video, let me brief about condition for a transformation to be canonical. If the expression summed over j, pj, dqj, that is the coordinates in the new Hamiltonian or the new set of coordinates minus small pj, dqj, or summed over j, small pj dqj minus capital Pj dqj will be equivalent to an exact differential, then we can call the transformation from small pj to capital Qj and capital Pj is canonical. If this expression is equal to an exact differential, then we say the transformation is a canonical. Let us write a proof for this. We have a general equation like this, so which says the transformation to be canonical, this general equation has to be satisfied. This we would have already seen while deriving the fourth form of generators. Summed over j, pj, qj dot minus h, that is the old Hamiltonian and the old set of coordinates, minus summed over j, pj, qj dot minus k, where this k stands for the new Hamiltonian, and capital Pj, capital Qj dot or new set of new set of coordinates which represents the new transformation is equal to df by dt, where this f is nothing but it is a generating function. So this equation has to be satisfied for a transformation to be canonical. So let us consider this generating function f does not depend on time t explicitly, then our dou f by dou t will be equal to 0. Then our new Hamiltonian k equal to h plus dou f by dou t will be equal to 0, will be equal to h. Since dou f by dou t is equal to 0, so we say the new Hamiltonian is equal to the old Hamiltonian h explicitly. Therefore, our equation or the condition for the transformation to be canonical that has to be satisfied reduces to summed over j, pj, qj dot minus summed over j, capital Pj, capital Qj dot is equal to df by dt, or simply we can write summed over j, pj dqj minus capital Pj d capital Qj is equal to df, where this df is nothing but it is an exact differential of f. So this for a transformation to be canonical, this expression or this equation has to be satisfied. Now let us discuss some transformation, or let us check this transformation are canonical or not. Here goes the first example. Show that the transformation capital Q is equal to root of 2q e power alpha cos p. Capital P is equal to root 2q e power minus alpha sin p is a canonical transformation. We are given a set of transformation and we are asked to check whether this equation is a canonical transformation or not. So what is provided? Capital Q is provided. So capital Q is equal to root of 2q e power alpha cos p, and next we are finding d capital Q. So we could see that capital Q involves two variables, one is a small q, other one is a small p. So we have to differentiate capital Q with respect to both small q as well as small p. So differentiating, we get the first term, we are keeping p constant and differentiating q, so it is e power alpha cos p. So when you differentiate root 2q, you will get half into 1 by root 2q. So when you differentiate inside, you will get another 2. So you will get e power alpha cos p 1 by root 2q, 2 and 2 will get cancelled. Then let us differentiate the p term keeping the q term constant. So it is root 2q e power alpha minus sin p into dp. So dq can be simplified and wrote as 1 by 2 root 2q e power alpha cos p dq minus root 2q e power alpha sin p dp. Now we know the condition for the transformation to be canonical, which is capital P dq minus small p dq is equal to df. So let me substitute the value of capital P from the equation from the transformation which is given. So which is equal to root 2q e power minus alpha sin p, and dq we have found here. So let us write dq here, 1 by 2 root 2q e power alpha cos p dq minus 2 root 2q e power alpha sin p dp minus small p dq. So let us multiply each term. So root 2q get cancelled, e power minus alpha get cancelled. So we are left with sin p cos p dq. And the second term root 2q and root 2q becomes 2q, sin p and sin e power minus alpha get cancelled. Sin p and sin p gives you sin square p dp minus p dp. Now let us club this dq and first term and the third term contains dq. So let us club it. We will get sin p cos p minus p into dq minus 2q sin square p dp. So to make the term simple, I am making use of a trigonometric expression. Sin 2p is equal to 2 sin p cos p. To bring that into a form, I am multiplying by 2 and dividing it by 2. So I get half 2 sin p minus p dq minus 2q, and also I am writing sin square p in terms of 1 minus 2 cos square p sin cos 2p divided by 2. So which will give me half. In place of 2 sin p cos p, I am writing sin 2p minus p dq minus 2q half minus cos 2p by 2 into dp. So which can be written as dou by dou q of half q sin 2p minus pq into dq plus dou by dou p half q sin 2p minus pq dp. So within the brackets you have a term. When you differentiate that term with respect to q, we will arrive at the previous step. In the same way, if you differentiate the same term with respect to p, you will arrive at the previous term. So this term 1 by 2q sin 2p minus pq is nothing but it is a function, or in general you can write it as dou f by dou q into dq plus dou f by dou p into dp, or in general you can write it as a df. So the condition for the transformation to be canonical is satisfied. Thus p dq minus small p dq is equal to df, where this f is the genetic function which is given by half q sin 2p minus pq, which makes the transformation a canonical one. Next, let's move to the next problem. Show that the transformation small q equal to root of 2p sin q, small p equal to root of 2 capital P cos q is a canonical. Again we are going to use the same technique. So q is equal to root of 2p sin q, which is already given. Let us find dq now. Again the small q involves two variables, one is capital P, other one is the capital Q. So keeping the p term constant, that is root 2p constant, let us differentiate sin q, we get cos q dq. Then keep the sin q constant and differentiate this root 2p. When you differentiate root 2p, you will get half 2p minus 1 by 2. When you integrate within the brackets, you will get 2. So this 2 will get cancelled. So your dq reduces to root 2p cos q dq plus 1 by root 2p sin q dq. We know the condition for the transformation to be canonical, which is small p dq minus capital P dq is equal to df. Now we have found the small p as root 2p cos q, which is given in the problem. So it is root 2p cos q, and dq we have found it is root 2p cos q dq plus 1 by root 2p sin q dq minus p dq. So let us multiply the first terms. You will get 2p cos square q dq plus cos q sin q dq. So this root 2p will get cancelled in the second term, then minus p dq. So dq is common there, so let us club the first term and third term where we have a dq in common in both the terms. So it is p into 2 cos square minus 1 into dq plus cos q sin q dq. For our convenience, we are rewriting 2 cos square q minus 1 as cos 2q using the trigonometric relation. And this cos q sin q can be, I am multiplying 2 by 2 in the numerator and dividing it in a denominator to make it as a 2 cos q sin q. Then I can write this 2 cos q sin q as sin 2q dp. So the entire expression reduces to capital P cos 2q dq plus half sin 2q dp. Then we can write dou by dou q into half p sin 2q into dq plus dou by dou p into half p sin 2q into dp. So the terms within the brackets are nothing but they are the functions or a generating function. If we differentiate that function with respect to q, we will get the term in the previous step, and in the same way if you differentiate the function with respect to p, you will get the term, the second term in the previous step. So a single function, if you differentiate that with respect to q and with respect to p, will yield the terms in the previous step. Thus that function generates the transformation, or in simple words you can write it as dou f by dou q into dq plus dou f by dou p into d, or in general it is df. So establishing the transformation to be a canonical, so p dq minus capital P dq is equal to df, where this f is equal to half p sin 2q, which is a generating function which makes the transformation canonical.